It's January 21st, 2026. Just some updates from class so far this week. First thing is looking at English literature, reading comprehension. I have here an example of a story for about a grade 7, grade 8 level. This is from commonlit.org. Really, really good website that all educators can use to get reading comprehension sheets, writing sheets, whole curriculum. It's really good. So we went through this story. It's called Examination Day, and I'm going to show you how we do it. So I was working with this student. First of all, we look at the title, Examination Day. That's going to give us some clues as to what the story is about. The title is always important. A lot of students miss really looking at the title or thinking about the title. Also, you can look at the date it was written. So sometimes you'll have stories that are more recent. Some are quite old. It's a bit dated, but the message in it is still very relevant for today. Something we always need to look out for is the characters, the background, what's happening in the plot, and the emotions of the characters as well in these situations. So what we do is first the students have to read through it. I get them to read through it quite quickly. I say, do it in 5 minutes, 5 or 7 minutes. And then the next part is we go through and we make notes on the story. And for this student, this took about 18 minutes. We didn't actually finish all the notes. The story is about 4 pages long. So what I do is I get them to break the story into sections. I like doing outline notes on a separate piece of paper, but that takes a lot of time. We're trying to do this as quickly as possible and to get all the meaning that we can extract out of this story as much as possible, as quickly as possible. So we have section 1, section 2, section 3, and that's where we stopped. But the thing that I stress with students is think of it like a movie or a TV show. Each section should be a different scene. So these are short stories. These are fiction stories. So think about it like a scene in a movie or a TV show. In the beginning, you're going to get a lot of the buildup of the plot. And so I'm not going to read through the story, but you can see some notes here. We talked about emotions. Always try to talk about the emotions of the characters. The mom is nervous and anxious. We can see that in the text. The dad is irritated. We can see that in the text as well. We learn about Dickie. I said Dickie is the protag, very short. Dickie is the protagonist, 12 years old. It's his birthday. So very, very quick notes. And then we can keep moving on here. And I highlighted the things that are interesting, like curiously. Okay, so we've got a kid. It's his birthday. He's got an exam. Parents are nervous. Dad is irritated. Section 2, the child is asking questions. We have some notes here. They talk about this test that he has to do. Dickie seems very curious. He's always asking questions about what's happening. Why is it raining? Why does the grass grow? And we learn that it's a government intelligence test. And I also pointed out this to the student. The dad is reading the government newspaper, rattled the sheets in vexation. So he's reading the government newspaper. That gives us a bit of a, and government is capitalized. It's a bit of an indicator as to how important the government is here, and that he's rattling the sheets in vexation. I'm from Canada. I've never had to read the Canada Times or something. It's always kind of smaller newspapers. So we can take away a lot from that, and vexation is kind of anger or irritation. Okay. The father is very abrupt. He says nobody knows. He regrets his abruptness. Very interesting. Section 3. Section 3, we have some notes. I just want to point out this star. I'll do 2 stars here. The son asks, how far away is the sun? The father says 5,000 miles. Okay, so if that were true, we would all be incinerated right now. So either the father is lying or he's ignorant. And, people can be ignorant. That's fine. They cannot know. There's nothing really much to that. They just don't know. But if they're lying, there's always something to that. In life, in stories, and everything, if someone is lying, there's a reason why they are lying. So that's a really important point. We just get a really critical moment in the story here, in the plot. The father lies. Very interesting. Why is he lying? So we have to think about that. Keep that in the back of our head. We learn that he's doing a test. He gets good marks in school. He's a bit nervous. And then they say you're going to drink some drink, kind of, it tastes like peppermint. And I said here, okay, so he's doing an intelligence test. The father lies, and then he has to drink like a truth serum or a truth potion, whatever you want to call it. They drink this thing so that you tell the truth. The government is making sure that you tell the truth. And this is very dystopian. Very dystopian. Good word for learning about stories in middle school. Dystopian, very kind of apocalyptic. Like the world is a bad place. It's controlled by certain groups of people with bad intentions. That's kind of dystopian. It's not a happy, fun, free world. Okay, so we stopped there, and one thing that the student pointed out was this word insignia less. So tunic, okay, so we've got some big vocabulary here, and Common Lit is very good because they give explanations at the bottom of each page, but sometimes you just have to go through it, and you just have to think, okay, as long as I understand the meaning and the characters and the story and everything, that's fine. Don't worry too much about getting through all the vocabulary if you don't have the time. But insignia, it's like a logo. This is an Arc'teryx jacket. That's the insignia for that. And it's insignia less, so it's a bare tunic, which I just told the students kind of like a robe. Imagine it's a doctor. You know, a doctor has their doctor's jacket and there's no logos or anything on it. Okay, so I'll give away the story here. The young boy, who's 12 years old, named Dickie, does a test, government intelligence test, and he passes, which is not a good thing, because in the bottom, it says, they get a phone call. The parents get a phone call. This is the Government Educational Service. Your son, Richard M. Jordan, classification 600-115, has completed the government examination. We regret to inform you that his intelligence quotient is above the government regulation according to Rule 84, Section 5 of the new code. Okay, we don't really know what's going on yet. Across the room, the woman cried out, knowing nothing except the emotion she read on her husband's face. You may specify by telephone, the voice droned on, whether you wish his body interred by the government or would you prefer a private burial place. The fee for government burial is $10. He has been killed. The theme, we always have to look at the theme after. Intelligence can be dangerous. So there's great irony in this because we do exams, we get ready for exams. We want to pass, we want to succeed. Here, you succeed, you do too well, you are eliminated. And this is great. It's a great exercise to think about why a government would want to eliminate the people that have high intelligence. The student did very well, went through all the multiple choice questions. There's a lot of reading comprehension questions here. They ask about the theme. This is a very common thing in middle school, high school, doing exams like the GCSE, all these types of things. And it's really important, knowing the theme, knowing what supports that theme, and knowing what sections are giving you information about characters. And then we can see here, we have the final question. How does the author use irony to contribute to the story's meaning? We use the APE method, which I do with students a lot. The author uses irony to contribute to the meaning by causing the reader to rethink how we view intelligence. That is our APE. That's part of the APE method. You give your answer. Next week with the student, we're going to provide evidence from the text, and then we're going to kind of end the answer nicely. We provide evidence and we explain how that evidence works. So that is the APE method. Thank you for watching the video. Revolutionize Education, or ReEd, is a nonprofit aiming to provide high-quality education to students around the world, preparing them for an uncertain future and giving them the tools to thrive. Classes focus on making students super learners, being able to read critically and make educated conclusions, formulate thoughts into clear writing, understanding diverse concepts in English, math, science, languages, and many other domains. Focus is given as well to career pathways and insights into what options are available down the road. Students are paid with dojo points and can use these points to buy prizes and even real money. Why not reward them for their hard work? The goal of ReEd, Re-Ed intends to be a self-sustaining enterprise providing free, tailored education. This is made possible by donations and support from you. I just want to give a quick pep talk that I've been giving to my students lately in January 2026. We live in unprecedented times. The future is extremely uncertain, balancing between a true utopia for all or something worse. This matters for you because you will create that future. Your daily, monthly, and yearly choices, combined with all the other choices made by your peers, will equal a shift in the way the world evolves. Now, if you believe that the mind's potential is infinite, then this means all options are possible. Now more than ever, we can have answers at our fingertips within seconds. What could be wrong with that? Well, think about how we got here. What did it require? It required the lack of answers, the lack of solutions, and the abundance of problems to solve. That is the great nature of our being, solving problems. To solve, you must think, and therefore thinking, which is now under threat, must be brought to the forefront. So I implore you to value thinking, remember what thinking can do, and let your thoughts lead the way to the future. In practical terms, what does this mean for you now? Well, you can sit in a room. Well, can you sit in a room with just your thoughts and work perfectly through problems of numbers, words, and images? And what that basically means is, can you work through mathematical problems? Can you work through scientific problems? Can you work through problems with language? Can you use your mind to its fullest potential? And can you transmit that knowledge to others and build the future together? Those are questions to think about. So, thank you again for watching all of this. Re-Ed is a nonprofit based in Canada. It is made possible by support from the community, by people around the world, and it's a real honor to be able to provide high quality education. One thing that makes this possible is donating. So this is a link to donate. I will have this in the description of the YouTube video. This is the link you'll be able to click. It's called Zephy.com. That's the platform that this nonprofit uses to collect donations. The donations are all in Canadian dollars. So for Canadians, they will get a tax credit emailed to them. It's all in Canadian dollars. If you reside in Canada, you get a tax credit for donating to the nonprofit. Be careful when you get to the payment page. You do not need to donate to the Zephy platform. If you want to, it's great because it's a fantastic platform and it helps nonprofits survive and take donations. This is totally optional. If you want, you can just put in other here and then put $0. So if you want to donate just $15 to the nonprofit, you can do that and make sure you don't add any more. Make sure you have other and then 0 as the contribution, and your total will be 15. If you would like to book a class or talk to me or just ask questions or get more information, you can use this link here to book a class on Calendly. All you have to do is click it, find a time that works for you, book it. I will see that. Make sure you put in some information about maybe your contact info so that I can reach out to you and provide a Zoom link or another link so that we can have our call. Thank you again for watching my video, and take care.